Hi folks, welcome to another fun segment of Therapist Thursday. Today we're going to working on your hip strength while standing on one leg. If you are a beginner and watching this for the first time, I would recommend you to see my previous series where I worked with more basic exercises to work on your hip strength. This is a little bit an advanced series. I would not encourage you to do these exercises if you feel that you have pain standing on one leg or if you feel like your balance on one leg is severely compromised. So before we go over the exercises, I just want to discuss a fun fact of how our pelvis works. So imagine your pelvis to be like a stick or like a seesaw. So you want the hips to be nice and balanced when you're walking. So imagine when this side of your hip contracts, it pulls the other side up. And when this side of your hip contracts, it pulls this side up. So when you see the patients walk, sometimes you see that when they're walking, the one side of the hip kind of drops when they're walking. The reason for that could be is their opposite hip or the opposite glute medius is weak. So when this side is weak, what happens is the opposite side of your hip drops. So you want to make sure, when you see the person walking, we may think that the side that drops is actually weak, but on the contrary, it's the opposite side of the hip that's actually weak, and that's why it's really important that we work on balancing and working on the single leg balance and activating the glutes on the opposite side. First exercise we're going to do, I like to call it the wall clean and lean. Okay, so let's go over that. So what I want you to do, you're going to stabilize. The hip that you're working on is your left side, okay? So you stabilize on your left hip. You use your right side, you push against the wall. So although it's working this side of the hip a little bit, it's really working on stabilizing your left hip. So first start with just pushing the wall, hold for 5 seconds, relax. Again, push against the wall, hold for 5 seconds, relax. To make this exercise harder, you can actually start cleaning the wall. Make sure it's not dirty too much, otherwise you'll ruin your hands. But just work on engaging the hip here, and you just work on going up and down. The exercise that we're going to do, you're going to balance on this leg, engage your core, make sure your hips are nice and level and that you're not rounding the back. You engage it here, and then you can lean forward, and again, pull and lean forward. So do the repetitions till you feel a good burn on the opposite side. Okay, so to make that progression harder, what you can do is engage your core, keep your hips again level. Again, this is working the left hip. Keep this tight. You reach forward with the ball, pull it in. Reach forward, pull back in. Again, making sure you're squeezing the glutes on this side. So for this exercise, what you can do, I've made like this handle. So you can use the end of your toilet paper roll, the cardboard that's remaining, pass the band through the handle. So you have a nice little loop here, and I tie a knot right at the end of the band. What you can do is take the band, open the door, and slide it in the hinge of the door. Make sure the knot is all the way on the other end, and then you close the door. So once you got the band through the door, what I want you to do, you're going to stabilize on this opposite leg here. You hold this. If you want, if you're not sure of your balance, you can always use your tippy toe to start off with. Engage your core, hold here, and then you push out by rotating your upper trunk. Or what you can also do is keeping the core tight. You can just work on pushing here. So keep moving and grooving, and if you love the video, definitely do not hesitate to share it. And if there's any questions that you guys have regarding your fitness journey, may it be walking on level grounds or returning back to your sport, do come and see us. And if there's any content on this Therapist Thursday segments that you would really like us to work on, we will make it happen. Have a good one.